Hello friends, welcome. Friends, yesterday TRI posted the Indian telecom operators financial data as regards to gross revenue, adjusted gross revenue, license fee and spectrum usage charges on this particular website, which I am showing it to you. The data is in this particular form. What TRI does is every quarter they come out with this financial data of all the operators. Now this data is in such a form it becomes very difficult to aggregate, but I have made some effort to aggregate this data and I have aggregated it in this particular sheet. So this has data starting from 2007 till 2023, the last quarter, which is the September quarter. So the friends, in this video quickly I will take you through the operators financial data and how the trend looks, not only from the aggregated total financial numbers point of view, but dissected by each and every operator. So what I have done, friends, I have created this dashboard. Now this dashboard, let me explain to you how to read this dashboard. The top part of the dashboard has the aggregated total number for all the telecom operators on a pan-India basis, and this number will get displayed based on the menus that I select. So if I select a particular menu, for that particular menu and for that particular time metric, these numbers are going to get displayed, and it's a time series. Now this time series number that you see here, which are marked as April, is the beginning of the financial year 2013. Let's say April 12 means start of the financial year 2013 is April 12. Similarly, the start of the financial year 2024 is April 23. So these numbers are the financial year numbers. Now if I choose quarters, because the granularity of the numbers on a quarterly basis, then it will give me the start of the financial year of that particular quarter. Like for example, this quarter is the end is September 2023, the 30th September 2003. The start of the quarter is July 23. So this is how you read this, right? And these numbers are already mentioned here. There are two types of numbers that you can see here. You will be able to see. One is rupees K crores, means 1000 crores, and dollar billion, because I have done a dollar calculation also to tell you that how the financial metrics are going to change, not only from a rupee point of view but also from a dollar point of view. Now I have other metrics here to choose from, which will be rupee, dollar, as well as growth in rupees and growth in dollars. So you will be able to see all the four metric in the same dashboard. Right? I'm going to basically put this link of this dashboard in the description of this video, and I'll post this in my website, and you can play with this worksheet depending upon your interest. Now in this type drop down menu, there are different types of metric. So we have AGR, we have got APGR, we have GR, license fee and spectrum fee. Now GR is the gross revenue numbers. APGR is the new terminology which TRI has come out with, which includes the gross, which includes all the revenues including the non-telecom portion also. They call it APGR. Now from there, the non-telecom part has been removed and aggregated as AGR. Now for this particular video, I am going to use only AGR as a metric for calculation, for display. The reason is that AGR is a very consistent metric, I believe, because even before, when the Indian telecom, in the Indian government came out with this relaxation that the telecom operators can exclude the non-telecom portion of the revenue out of the calculation for license fee, the operators were reporting their AGRs to the TRAI in that manner, right? So because they were reporting AGR excluded excluded and extracting the non-telecom portion from their total revenues from the beginning itself, that's why this Supreme Court judgment came out with such a huge fine to the operators. So I'm going to assume that if I take AGR as a reference, then the whole financial calculations from a trend perspective will remain consistent. So I'll use AGR as a reference. Now from an AGR perspective, if let's take the time metric as year, you will find that the grand total of India's telecom revenue collections, or the output, the revenues that Indian telecom operators were delivering on a yearly basis, peaked till April 2016, that is the end of the financial year, which is FY 17, and thereafter it dipped and now it is picking up. So if you see the last financial year, which is FY23, the number was 2,50,000 crores. That is the total revenue that the telecom sector of India is generating. And the last 2 quarters, the number is 1.33 lakh crores. So if you double it, it is going to come out to be around roughly around 2.7 lakh crores. So it will be definitely higher than the last year's number. So this FY24 number will be definitely higher than the last year numbers. Now let's go operator by operator and see how the operators looks from the total revenue in terms of rupees crores. So if you see here, Bharti in the last financial year, which was FY23, was 88.57k crores, right? Which is around 35.48% market share, because this number is market share. So here if you see this number, on the bottom part of each and every row is the market share, and the top is the overall aggregated metric, which I am going to choose from here, right? So it is 88.57k crores. Now Reliance was 91.63k crore, which basically means that Reliance in FY23 was higher from the point of view of AGR, right, compared to Bharti, and it has a market share of 37.771. But the reason Bharti is in ranked 1, because for the purpose of ranking, I have used this last column as a reference. Now, if you see here, in last 2 quarters, Bharti has been able to do an AGR of 49.45k crores, and Reliance has done an AGR of 49.09k crores. So, from a market share point of view, if you consider two quarters, Bharti is 37% market share and Reliance is 36.73% market share, right? And Vodafone Idea is much less. So, we are going to focus only on these two from the point of view of our interest. Now let's look at dollar numbers, because dollar number gives a different picture. So if I do a dollar calculation, you will find that the trend almost is similar. There was an increase in the take of revenue growth till FY17, which was $29 billion, and then it decreased and it went down significantly in FY19 to $20.64 billion, and then there is a rising trend. Means industry is now going healthy. The revenue of the industry in dollar term is increasing. In the last financial year, FY23, it was 30.677 of the total $1 billion of total revenue was generated by the Indian telecom industry, and this year in 2 quarters it is $16.19 billion. Now, if you look at from an operator's point of view, Bharti generated around $10.88 billion in FY23, and Reliance generated around $11.26 billion in FY23, and this year in 2 quarters Bharti generated $5.99 billion, and Reliance is a little less with $5.95 billion, and Vodafone is $2.33 billion. So Vodafone numbers are dripping down, and the Bharti's and Reliance numbers are going higher, right? Now let's look at the growth. Now growth we can do from a rupee point of view as well as from dollar point of view. So both the numbers gives a different picture. Now if you do a rupee growth, you will find that from a rupee point of view, which is nominal rupee value, the growth has been pretty steady. It has been increasing at a rate of 12.24% in FY20, and then 15.07% in FY21, 17.06% in FY22, and in the last financial year, that is FY23, it was 14.2%, slightly dipped. Right? Now RGO has been growing at a higher rate compared to Bharti. Now RGO's numbers for FY23, because I have used year as a time scale, was 17.73% and whereas Bharti is 17.05% in FY23, the last financial year. And Vodafone growth was 5.4%. Vodafone actually was decreasing, but fortunately there is a growth in rupee terms in Vodafone, which is 5.57%. Now let's do a growth in dollar terms. Now dollar terms gives a different picture. Now if you see in a dollar term, there was a growth, significant growth till of the total revenue till FY22 of 15.74%. Now in the last financial year, the rupee depreciated significantly, and therefore in dollar terms, the growth is only 5.17%. So on a nominal, so this is very interesting. On a nominal rupee term, the growth was 14.2%, but from a dollar term point of view, the growth in the last financial year of the overall industry in the India's telecom sector is only 5.17%. So you can imagine the weakness of Indian rupee, and that's why that is basically creating this problem. Now RGO on a dollar term actually grew at around 8.42%, whereas Bharti grew at dollar terms of 7.79%. And Vodafone Idea is actually shrinking in dollar terms. Though it, from a rupee point of view, it has grown. I'll just bring the rupee growth again in the picture so that you can see where Vodafone Idea was. It was 5.57%, but in a dollar term, it is shrinking, right? So it is very interesting. But BSNL is basically has shown a little bit of growth in dollar terms, which is very interesting. I don't know what is going on in BSNL. It looks a little strange, but anyway. Now coming to another time scale, let's do quarterly numbers and let's see what is happening, because quarterly numbers are important because it gives the latest trend. Yearly numbers are basically a little, the numbers are actually, because one of the 2 quarters are missing because the current financial year numbers are not complete. So it's a trend which is a little, phase lagged by 2 quarters. But if you do a quarterly trend, then it gives a very good picture. It is a blown out proportion, it is a zoomed version of the financial financial metric of the Indian telecom industry, and gives a very good picture about what is going on currently. Now, if you see in rupee terms, in a quarter by quarter basis, there is a very steady growth, right? See, in the last quarter, which is the starting month of the quarter, which is October 20th, till the July 23 quarter, which is the ending quarter of September 30th, the industry has been growing steadily in rupee terms. Similarly, if you see, RGO has also been growing, and the market share of RGO is higher compared to Bharti in a quarterly number. So if you see the quarterly, in this quarter, the market share of RGO from the growth point of view is 37, on the point of view of revenue that they generate in rupee terms, is 37.49% market share, and Bharti is slightly less, which is 36.4% market share. Now let's do dollar terms. Now, if you do dollar terms, the growth is not very, I would not say it's very exciting. You see, it was growing till January 22, the starting month of that particular quarter. Then it has plateaued and it has slightly grown, and now it is plateauing. So this is a clear indication that our rupee has depreciated and it has weakened in terms of dollar terms, and that's why the overall telecom industry health, though it kind of shows that it is growing in rupee terms, it is not growing in terms of dollar terms. In RGO has maintained a steady growth. Bharti also has maintained a steady growth, but there is a slight dip in dollar terms as far as the overall collection is concerned in the current quarter. Now let's do a growth in rupee term. In rupee term, the growth has decreased, which is very, very strange. There is a decrease of growth. The overall growth has decreased. The industry has become a little, I don't know how this, because when I calculating growth as far as quarter is concerned, I am taking the current quarter and comparing it with the last quarter of the last financial year. So if you see this is interesting. Let me just do one thing to basically check that whether this is consistent or not. If I take 15 quarters, so you'll find that the last quarter of the month, so let me do 20 quarters and see what happens. See, the last quarter is going to be the quarter when the month starts, the January, right? So if you see here, because I have put let me just make a change here. Just a minute. That is why I am not able to get 20. So I'll just make the change right now so that you will. So I'll make this parameter to 20, and then I'll go here and I'll make that 20. Okay, so let me use 20 here. And you will find that, so this will give a interesting picture. So what I'm seeing is that, yes, there is no trend. So the trend as far as rupee growth is that it is dipping, right? It is slightly tapering down, right? Which I can see from this data. Now in dollar terms, if I see dollar terms, the picture is even bad, right? On a quarter to quarter basis. So it has dipped and it has got slightly higher. So there is no consistent picture which I can see. But there is a trend of decreasing growth rate, which is very clearly visible here. Now, if I do if I do one more thing here to check, just a minute, I'll just go a little window here and and see where this will be, because what I'm doing is I'm going in the on the left hand side and seeing what was the trend in the earlier quarters. So if I find in the earlier quarters the trend was the trend was actually different. See, it was growing and then it is tapering down. So it was growing till April 21. There was a growth in dollar terms quarter by quarter. Then there is a trend down, if you see here, as far as the total growth is concerned. So if I go on and bring it back to what the current window was, so you see that the trend continues. So there is a dip in the overall growth, which is basically very clear that the consistent from the point of view of that the rupee is weakening and the dollar is strengthening, and that's why our growth is dipping. Okay, so this is in nutshell. I don't want to get into the license fee and the spectrum fee, though I can go and tell you that how it looks. If I do license fee, let's have a look at license fee. But you can play with this data, because it will be a lot of I'll waste your time unnecessary by doing all these things. So you can play with data. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just close this video here, stop here, and I'm going to post this this chart in my website, and you can pull this chart out of the website and have a look. Based on your interest, you can have a look what is this financial Indian Telecom financials are telling us from the point of view of the health of the industry. And thank you again for your patient listening, and I'll come back to you again with a new video. Thank you very much.